Judge Kathleen Ryan was a prominent figure in the Oakland County, Michigan court system. She served as a probate judge, handling sensitive cases related to wills and estates. However, her career is now overshadowed by a shocking scandal. Ryan's reputation for fairness has been shattered. Audio recordings surfaced, capturing her making deeply offensive remarks. These recordings have sent shockwaves through the court system. The public demands answers and accountability. The incident has tarnished the image of the judiciary. The controversy began with what seemed like an ordinary conversation. Judge Ryan was speaking with Edward Hutton, the Oakland County Probate Court Administrator. Hutton, who is black, had worked with Ryan for several years. He was responsible for the court's administrative functions. Unbeknownst to Ryan, Hutton was recording their conversations. He alleges that he had been subjected to years of abusive and racist behavior from the judge. He felt compelled to document her conduct, fearing that his concerns would be ignored. The recordings, when made public, revealed the shocking truth. Judge Ryan's words were a stark contrast to her public persona. Her comments were not just insensitive or politically incorrect. They were blatantly racist, filled with derogatory language and harmful stereotypes. The content of the recordings is deeply disturbing. Judge Ryan can be heard using racial slurs and making disparaging comments about black people. She makes sweeping generalizations about their work ethic. She even resorts to offensive stereotypes, painting an entire community with a broad and unfair brush. In one particularly egregious excerpt, Ryan discusses a case involving a black family. Her language is shockingly unprofessional and dehumanizing. She refers to the family members using racial slurs. She also expresses open disdain for their circumstances, demonstrating a clear lack of empathy and understanding. The recordings provide undeniable evidence of Judge Ryan's deeply ingrained prejudices. Her words are not off-the-cuff remarks or misinterpretations. They are clear and consistent expressions of racism. These recordings paint a picture of a judge who is unfit to serve in a position of power. The release of the recording sparked immediate and widespread outrage. The public was appalled by the judge's words. Community leaders, civil rights organizations, and ordinary citizens alike condemned her behavior. Protests erupted, demanding her removal from the bench. The outrage was palpable. How could someone tasked with upholding justice harbor such blatant prejudices? The incident struck a nerve, highlighting the persistent issue of racism within positions of power. The public demanded accountability not just for the judge's words, but for the systemic issues they represented. Social media became a platform for expressing anger and demanding justice. The hashtag #RemoveJudgeRyan trended nationwide. People shared their stories of encountering racism within the justice system. The incident became a catalyst for a larger conversation about racial bias and the urgent need for reform. Section 5. Swift action, judicial authorities respond. The response from judicial authorities was swift and decisive. The Michigan Judicial Tenure Commission, the body responsible for investigating judicial misconduct, immediately launched a formal investigation. They recognized the severity of the allegations and the need to act quickly. The Michigan Attorney General, Dana Nessel, also condemned Judge Ryan's actions. She vowed to ensure a thorough and impartial investigation. Nessel emphasized the importance of public trust in the judiciary. She made it clear that such behavior would not be tolerated. Judge Ryan was immediately removed from her courtroom duties. She was barred from hearing cases while the investigation proceeded. This swift action demonstrated the seriousness with which the allegations were taken. It also sent a message that no one is above the law, not even a judge. Section 6. The aftermath, a career in jeopardy. The scandal has had a devastating impact on Judge Ryan's career. Her reputation is in tatters. The once respected judge is now a symbol of prejudice and bias within the justice system. Her legacy is forever tarnished. The Michigan Judicial Tenure Commission, after a thorough investigation, recommended that Judge Ryan be removed from the bench. They found her conduct to be egregious and unbecoming of a judicial officer. Their recommendation was clear: she was unfit to serve. The Michigan Supreme Court will make the final decision on Judge Ryan's fate. They have the authority to remove her from office or impose other sanctions. Regardless of the outcome, her career in law is effectively over. The recordings have irrevocably damaged her credibility and her ability to impartially administer justice. Section 7. Erosion of trust. Implications for the judiciary. The incident has far-reaching implications for the judicial system as a whole. It has eroded public trust in the very institution designed to uphold justice and fairness. The incident has left many wondering: if a judge can harbour such prejudices, can we trust the system to treat everyone equally? The case has also fueled concerns about systemic racism within the legal system. Critics argue that Judge Ryan's case is not an isolated incident. They point to a pattern of racial disparities in sentencing, police brutality, and mass incarceration. They argue that the system itself is biased against marginalized communities. The incident has sparked calls for reform. Advocates are demanding greater diversity on the bench. They are also calling for implicit bias training for all judges and court staff. The goal is to create a more equitable and just system that works for everyone, regardless of race or ethnicity. Section 8. A call for change, ensuring equality and justice. The removal of Judge Ryan from office is not enough. It is a necessary step, but it's only the beginning. The incident must serve as a wake-up call. We must address the systemic racism that plagues our society, including within our courtrooms. We need to create a system where everyone feels safe and heard, regardless of their race or background. This requires a multifaceted approach. We need to diversify our juries and our judges. We need to address implicit bias in policing, prosecution, and sentencing. We also need to invest in communities that have been historically marginalized. This means providing access to quality education, healthcare, and economic opportunities. By addressing the root causes of inequality, we can create a more just and equitable society for all. Section 9. Beyond the headlines. A moment for reflection. The case of Judge Kathleen Ryan is more than just a news story. It's a reminder of the work needed for true equality, a call to action to examine our biases and fight for justice. We must commit to dismantling systemic racism, acknowledge privilege and amplify marginalized voices, challenge racism in our lives, workplaces and power structures. The fight for justice is ongoing. Judge Ryan's case reminds us not to be complacent, stay vigilant in pursuing a just and equitable society.